So today I want to talk about a under-the-radar free agent who I think would make lots of sense on the Packers. Before I get into exactly who this is, he is a safety. So I want to sort of describe why I do think it could make sense for the Packers to add another safety. Right now, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, no question, they are the two starters at safety for this Packers defense. Adrian Amos, it's actually his final year of his contract, so who knows what his future holds. Will the Packers re-sign him after this year? Will they not? We don't know. And then we have Darnell Savage, who the Packers exercised his fifth-year option in the past few weeks, which means he is under contract through both 2022 and 2023. So I think that's great news to have him locked up for the next couple of years. But outside of those two guys, there are, I'd say, some question marks at the depth at safety. We let Henry Black go this offseason. We have Vernon Scott, Sean Davis, Ennis Gaines. We drafted Tariq Carpenter in the 7th round. He could be more of a special teams player, but maybe the Packers, can see if they could use him at depth at safety. So I'd say there are question marks behind Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage. And we know when the season happens, there's always injuries. You always need some guys to step up. So I think it could make sense to add a safety. So the player is Jaquiski Tartt, safety, who has played for the San Francisco 49ers for the past 7 years. He is currently 30 years old, but let me tell you why I think he would make lots of sense to play for the Packers. So if we look at him, last year, he only allowed a passer rating of 87.9 when targeted. If we compare that to Darnell Savage, just to put it into perspective, Darnell Savage allowed a 115 passer rating when targeted last year. So Jaquiski Tartt played very well last year, only allowed at 87.9 passer rating when targeted, and his contract for last year in 2021 was only $1.1 million. So he was only paid $1.1 million a steal, I'd say, for the production the 49ers got out of him. And now the 49ers haven't brought him back up to this point. And so I think the question is, why would the 49ers not want to bring him back? He is getting a little bit older. As you can see right here, he's 30 years old. And so I don't think he's going to get some, big, massive contract, which I think is why he could make lots of sense for the Packers. If we do take a look at his history, he has struggled with injuries in the past. Last year, he didn't really struggle too much with injuries, played in 14 games, but in a few previous seasons, he missed lots of games with injuries. So there is that risk, but I feel like with every player in the NFL, you always have that injury risk. But I think when we look at the fact of how well he played last year, here are some of his stats at the bottom. You can see all of his time in San Francisco. This is PFF's website. They're premium stats. But you can see the past 2 years, allowed an 87.9 passer rating last year, which is great. Allowed a 85.8 passer rating the year before, and then a 75.1 passer rating the year before that. And in the past 3 years, he's only allowed 4 touchdowns. Last year, the only touchdown he allowed was week 1. You can see all the games last year. So he allowed 1 touchdown. It was probably one of his worst games this day. Allowed, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. And then the rest of the year, he didn't allow another touchdown the entire year. If you look at these stats, lots of games, no players caught any balls on him. Right here, only 20 yards, 6 yards, 11 yards, 29 yards, 23 yards, 8 yards. So he played very, very well. And I think, considering he is currently a free agent, the Packers could probably sign him for another relatively cheap deal, I would assume, whether that's $1 to $2 million. I feel like the Packers could definitely do that. So looking at the Packers' safety situation, as I already described, to bring in a veteran player who's 30 years old, you give him a 1-year contract, he's not going to come in and, I'd say, start. I say you have him as a depth piece, as a backup, just in case, Darnell Savage or Adrian Amos gets injured. If he, starts playing really well and it makes sense to put him above, Savage, I mean, why not if he's playing that well? But I think considering how cheap he's probably going to be and how well he played last year, how proven he is, and we look at the, I'd say, unproven talent behind Amos and Savage, I say why not take a shot on him? I don't see the downside, honestly, in paying him $1 or $2 million for a 1-year contract. I feel like there's minimal risk and lots of upside, for if a potential injury were to happen. Because, yes, there could be a guy, one of those players I mentioned before who are backups behind Savage and Amos. One of them could, stand out and be that third reliable guy. But because we don't know if anyone is going to do that, we've seen this guy perform, I'd say, year after year for the past few seasons very, very well. So why not take a shot on him, pay him $1 or $2 million, and just have him there in case, you need some more depth there. So those are my thoughts on Jaquiski Tartt. Let me know what you guys think. This morning I was just going through all of the available current free agents in the NFL, sort of looking through guys, and I came across him, and considering I thought the Packers could maybe use another safety, as I was researching him, I was like, this makes lots of sense. Cheap. He's played well. I don't know why a team hasn't signed him. Maybe they're worried about his injury history, but he played 14 games last year, so in the regular season, I believe that was. Or maybe that's total. I don't know. But anyways, I think it's a great move. The Packers should come in and sign him. We have $17 million in cap space left, so it's not like we're crunched on cap space right now, especially after signing Jair Alexander to that extension, freeing up, $6.2 million. So I say take a shot on Tartt. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't subscribed, you want to see more content like this, Packers content, Packers news, all that stuff, I cover that on this channel. So subscribe down below, turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.